Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 25th, 2021 Finance Committee of the City Council. We will start with an announcement regarding recording of public meetings. I ask anyone in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and stating their name and address. Seeing none, public forum. If there is anyone in the audience who wishes to address the committee, they may do so at this time. You may speak on any item appearing on the agenda for not more than 2 minutes. Please stand and state your name and address and the item on which you wish to speak. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda. Just to make a note, committee members present are myself, Councilor Di Natale, Councilors Hughes, President Zarella, and Vice President Walsh. We will begin with agenda item 91-21 in order that there being hereby is appropriated the sum of $6,875, same to be charged against available funds, and credited to City Council expense ordinance code supplement. I have a letter here from Mary D. Alderidi, City Clerk, to the Mayor on May 4th that states, "Dear Mayor Di Natale, I have received an estimate as attached for updating the city code to include the revised zoning amendments. I respectfully request an appropriation in the amount of $6,875 to be advanced to the account City Council expense and City Code supplements in order to fund this expense." If the City Clerk has nothing else to add, I leave this to the committee for discussion.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve. If there is no objection, I will take this motion under unanimous consent. Hearing no objections, it is passed favorably. 92-21, in order that there being hereby is transferred from within the sum of $40,000 to be charged against reserve for other municipal purposes, capital expenses, and credited to library capital building renovation for engineering to design new heating and cooling systems. Letter here from Library Director Sharon Bernard to the Mayor on May 11th states, "We respectfully request the following appropriations relating to the Fitchburg Public Library MEP needs. An appropriation of $40,000 to complete engineering to design new heating, cooling, and auxiliary systems to provide suitable HVAC conditions in the building. As was observed on the site walk on May 4th, 2021, the existing conditions merit the new work to ensure a functioning building. All work completed using this funding will be required to remain in place and be utilized on any future renovation or expansion to the library campus." Library Director is present this evening if she has anything to add to her letter. She does not. I'll leave it to the committee for any discussions or questions.
Commissioner, accept.
Second.
I have a motion made and seconded to accept 92-21. Seeing no objections, I will take this under unanimous consent. There are no objections. It is passed. Favorably recommended to the council. 93-21, in order that there being hereby is transferred from within the sum of $625,000 to be charged against reserve for other municipal purposes, capital expenses, and credited to South Street School roof and boiler repairs capital project. And I have a letter here from the City Treasurer Ann Cervantes to the Mayor on May 11th. "The City Auditor and I are requesting a transfer from reserve from other municipal purposes, capital expenses in the amount of $625,000 to be credited to the South Street School capital project. This project was to replace roofs and boilers at the school and was primarily funded by the Massachusetts School Building Authority Accelerated Repair Program, with the city's share funded from temporarily borrowed funds. It should be complete by fiscal year end, and the temporary borrowing is due. Rather than issue bonds for payment over future years, we recommend that the city's share be funded from available funds." Does the treasurer have anything else to add to that? Do we have an estimation on what the savings on interest would be by doing this? I personally think it's a wise decision to pay the money up front and not borrow and have the taxpayers paying for this in a certain set of time. Just get it over with now, clear it off our debt. Any discussions from the committee or questions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion made and seconded to approve. If there is no objection to unanimous consent? Seeing none, it is passed 5-0. We have Councilor Boschman now joining us. Last on the agenda, 9421, a loan order to appropriate $4 million to pay costs of various wastewater infrastructure projects as outlined in the enclosed loan order. Letter dated May 12th to the mayor from wastewater Deputy Commissioner Jeff Morosky states as follows. The project in question for the $4 million is a mandated environmental project. It is required by the 2012 executed consent decree between the city and the United States DOJ. We will seek funding through the state revolving fund, which provides 2% financing to upgrade or replace wastewater infrastructure on the project's pre-designed SSES investigations services. Designer services are not SRF eligible and will be bonded separately within the $4 million borrowing authorization appropriation. The loans will be charged to the Wastewater Enterprise Fund. In order to cover the cost of the borrowing, rates were adjusted, passed by City Council in April of 2018 for FY 2019 through 2023, which will be sufficient to fund the subject borrowing authorization. The current request for $4 million in addition to past loan orders is for the next phase of projects that are mandated by the CD and include sewer system evaluation survey, investigations costs, and designer engineering services costs of the CSO 10-32-45-83 separation rehabilitation project, also referred to as the Main Street Area Combined Sewer Separation Project. The city has historically required the wastewater enterprise and the sewer ratepayers to fund the removal of streets, runoff, stormwater, and sources of groundwater from the sewer system and the publicly owned treatment works. This city practice is anticipated to continue into the foreseeable future and is incorporated into the subject project's designer engineering services budget cost. This sewer separation project is the first of the remaining sewer separation projects that will fully separate the city's combined sewers into separate sanitary and separate storm drain systems. The anticipated project area is primarily the area north of Western Main Street, including Prospect Street and Mechanic Street arterial streets as far north as former Burbank Hospital, and Bigelow Road, Western Blossom Street, and as far east as Mount Vernon Street. This project will permanently close 4 very active combined sewer overflow regulators that have historically released high amounts of untreated wastewater and stormwater to the environment during rain events, thereby greatly improving the quality of the North Nashua River and also greatly reducing extraneous infiltration and inflow non-sewage water from reaching our easterly wastewater treatment plant, helping the city progress towards final compliance with the consent decree. Also attached to this letter request is a suggested loan order language to be provided to the city's bond council. Mr. Deputy Commissioner, is there anything you'd like to add to that letter, sir? I leave it to the council. Councilor Boschman.
Question to the commissioner. My question to the commissioner is this: how much longer do we have to pay? Can you let the public know how much it's going to cost us to do the remaining project, approximately how much money, and the upgrade to the wastewater treatment plant in the west, and so we can get this monkey off of our back because it's killing us?
Project in question that the loan authorization is before the Finance Committee is for the next and largest separation project of 4 remaining, so this will be the first of the last 4. This is estimated to be a construction cost on the order of approximately $21 million. Beyond that, we'll have 3 additional projects. The first 2 of the last 3 will be somewhat small comparatively, and then the very last project will be completing just before the year 2030 to be compliant with the consent decree, the city's consent decree. We have milestone dates built into the consent decree for the compliance. In our wastewater management plan submission, which is a remedial measure, we petitioned both EPA and DEP, and they have not responded to us. We petitioned that we postpone tertiary treatment upgrade of the east plant until after we do the separation, just because there's so much benefit attained by separation. The tertiary treatment project was estimated to be approximately $20 to $25 million. This construction project we're talking about now, of which the $4 million is just investigation and design, that's another approximately $20 million. And then we would have approximately 20 to 30 million of the remaining separation projects. And these are just ballpark figures, Counselor.
And then the upgrade, when we talk, see, it would be fair to say we're pretty close to $100 million, rough ballpark?
That would be a good approximation, a good approximate ballpark, Counselor.
All right. All right, that's all I want to know. I'll make a motion, we accept.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the loan order. Speaking on that motion, I just want to make it clear to the residents watching that it is your federal government who thinks that you can pay for this. It is your federal government who thinks that you are flush with cash and that you have endless amounts of money to spend on projects like these. It's your federal government that claims they're for the little people when they're not, when they do things like this to us. And we're also feeling the pinch from the MS4 stormwater mandate that they came down on high from their holy seat and put on us for no reason. So they have told us several times, the residents can afford it. Don't come crying to us. You're all set for a city with a median household income of around $50,000. So that's your federal government at its best. Thank you. Any other questions from the committee on the motion? Seeing none, I will take this under unanimous consent if there are no objections. I see no objections. It has been approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn, and we are adjourned under unanimous consent. No objections. Thank you.